dedicated to empowering you with information,
to make positive choices,
and be advocates for your overall well-being.
Welcome to The Health View. Welcome to The Health View. I'm Yvonne Dunitz, and today our topic is about the Choose Love movement. My guests are Dr. Garth McKinney, Assistant Superintendent for Elementary for the Nashua School District, and Scarlett Lewis, who is the mother of Jesse Lewis, who was killed in his first grade classroom during the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14th, 2012, along with 19 classmates and 6 teachers and administrators in one of the worst school shootings in the United States history. She founded the Jesse Lewis Choose Love Foundation in honor of Jesse and to spread a message he left on their kitchen chalkboard shortly before he died. Nurturing, healing, love. The formula for choosing love and to promote social and emotional education in schools, as well as a consistent message of compassion in our communities. Scarlett is the recipient of the International Forgiveness Award, the Live Your Legacy Award, and the Common Ground Award for her advocacy, work for peace and forgiveness. When she became a parent for the first time, Scarlett wrote and published a children's book, Rose's Foal. Following Jesse's death, Scarlett wrote Nurturing, Healing, Love, a story about her journey of turning personal tragedy into something that can positively impact the world. An artist and an avid horsewoman, Scarlett lives on a small horse farm in Connecticut with her son and animals. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here.
It is a very difficult thing that you have done, and that is taking a truly tragic moment in your life that impacted your whole life and your heart, and turning it around into such a positive movement throughout the United States. Tell us about it.
Well, I found that message that Jesse had written shortly before he died on our kitchen chalkboard. 3 words, nurturing, healing, love. And I knew instantly that if the shooter, who was a former student whose mother had taught at the school, had the skills and tools to give and receive nurturing, healing love, the tragedy would never have happened. It was that simple. And I knew what had happened was 100% preventable. And I knew that I would be spending the rest of my life trying to make sure that no one else would have to go through the pain that I had felt. And I did some research and found that the way to get those 3 words into schools and homes and communities was called social and emotional learning. And there are decades of research behind the positive benefits of learning these attitudes, skills, and tools. And so I dedicated my life to making sure that everyone has access to what we know is in especially children's best interests.
So you developed a curriculum, and within that curriculum, you had educators and other professionals assist you within that. Mm-hmm. And the goal of that curriculum is to do what? Every day in everyone's life.
The goal is to give the skills and tools needed to be able to thoughtfully respond in any situation, circumstance, or interaction by choosing love. And what I mean by that is kindness, caring, concern, compassion, because when we thoughtfully respond in love, we take our personal power back. We are in control, and we make the world a better place. When we react with anger, hatred, and revenge, we are literally giving our personal power away and becoming victims. And so the hope is that we give everyone the ability to choose love and to take their personal power back.
And so in so doing, how does the curriculum reach communities and get incorporated into schools? Because this isn't just for children and teachers and educators, it's really for all of us throughout the world and in our daily lives. But it's beginning in the most important place with our young and our youth and their parents as a tool to spread the message, correct?
Absolutely.
And you've spread it throughout the United States.
It's now being taught in schools in every single state in the United States and 80 countries, actually. And the amazing thing about this is that it's word of mouth. And we've been able to impact over 1 million kids in a very short amount of time, 3 years. But I think that that shows the need for what we're doing.
And Dr. McKinney, Nashua in the state of New Hampshire is leading the way for the state of New Hampshire and others within New England and the other states related to making this a priority in education for your school district.
Yes, absolutely.
And how are you doing that?
So we're providing the program to our teachers in grades K to 5 this year. We've already had 40 teachers who have come to a training that's going to impact over 500 students this year. And give them the skills to be resilient learners. And these are really life skills. And when I saw Scarlett the first time, I certainly cried, but it also resonated with me because these are the skills that all people, big and small, need to be successful in life. And if we can feed their hearts and their minds, I think we're doing our part to make everything a little bit better.
Absolutely. And the amazing thing is this curriculum that you share is free. There is no cost to the school system to integrate it into its programs, right?
Thanks to Scarlett and the foundation, it is free. We've had free PD for our teachers, free materials. It's a wonderful opportunity because the cost of the number of these programs is quite high, but New Hampshire is really leading the way of having great ambassadors who are really just a phone call away and come and help and support us.
That's wonderful.
You know, these skills and tools are so essential and would have saved my son's life as well as the shooter's life. And so I looked at what was offered out there and realized that one of the impediments of getting this to children was cost, and also the cost of extensive teacher training. So we created a program that transcended the impediments of getting this to kids. Because when you think about it, these are essential life skills. It is how to have healthy relationships.
Absolutely.
It is how to manage your emotions. It is how to be resilient and grow through difficulty in life. It's how to make responsible decisions, among other things. And if you listen to what these are, they're not kids-centric. These are human-centric.
Absolutely.
And it's called a program, but it's really not something that has a beginning and end. It's something that we work on, all of us, all day.
Life skills.
They're life skills, and we're practicing them every day. We are born with a need to connect.
Absolutely.
Love is connection, and we need to connect with one another to survive. But the interesting thing is we're not born with the skills and tools that enable us to do that in healthy and meaningful ways. And this is what this program helps do.
And you have a website, and that website is?
That website is JessieLewisChooseLove.org. Jessie spelled JessieLewis.
And when people go on that website, they can actually download the home curriculum. There's a home curriculum, a business curriculum, and a school curriculum, correct, for educators?
Well, this is the plan is that this will be lifespan. Currently, we have prenatal.
Okay.
We have infant and toddler. We have pre-K through 12th grade. We have an at-home program that corresponds to what the kids are learning in school for parents and caregivers. And we have a community piece. We are currently working on an at-work piece.
And how do people access this information?
They can go onto our website and they can look at the tabs at the top and pick the one that is associated with them and log in and download the information right then and there. It's very simple. Fun, fast, and easy, where we all are today,
right? So they can easily get it.
Yes.
And then the tools that are there for them, are they also easy for them to grasp, to know what to do, how to do it, and how to create that loving atmosphere to support their children in the educational process as well as themselves at home?
they're all there. Everything that you need, it walks you right through. We have very few people that come to us asking questions because it's pretty self-explanatory. We did that on purpose. We are a small foundation. We have a very small budget, and I wanted it to be that way going forward. So everything is very self-explanatory. You can go on, access it. Teachers can literally download the information and turn around and teach it. And the beautiful thing about this is really that the educator learns right alongside the student.
Wonderful.
So they're either sharpening their
together.
they're doing it together, and they're either sharpening their skills or they're learning their skills and tools. And my favorite feedback is actually from educators when they say that they're learning skills and tools and taking it home to their own families and using it with their families and kids.
What are you most proud of this whole movement that you're leading the way in?
Most proud. I think that I feel like this is a gift that we've been able to give the world. Really, it's ultimately boils down to Jesse's message of nurturing, healing, love, and I have loved the fact that I've been able to share Jesse and that message with so many people around the world. But at the same time, I'm getting a gift back, because I get to visit the schools and see the lives that this has transformed and even saved. And that is my gift.
That's wonderful. And for you, Dr. McKinney, what are the goals that you have? What do you see happening with this wonderful lead that you're taking here in New Hampshire to move this movement into the classroom, into the homes, out to the community and beyond?
I certainly think it's a resource for our teachers. Over the past year, I've heard more and more challenges from teachers around behavior of students, but also dealing with the stresses of being a teacher. They're asked to do a lot with a little and get very high results in a very quick matter of time. And I think this is one of the tools in the toolbox, both at the district level and statewide, for teaching young people how to deal with adversity. Our teachers need that piece to learn along with them to become great people. They're under stress, and I see it in them. They have kind of compassion fatigue of caring for young people. And if our community can come together around a single program and some single ideals that we want all young people to know, I think we're going to be in a much better place. It resonated with me to the time when I was a teacher before all the state testing and the academic pressure that was there, and we spent time doing these sort of things. And I think our kids are really starving for some of that, on top of all the other safety initiatives and bullying and all the things that we have to accomplish. It's really about shaping young people's lives and giving them the tools to be successful. And for me, I see that as being a critical part of my role.
Without a doubt. You know, they always say it truly is all about our relationships. It's about love. And when we know it's about that, our hearts are filled with gratitude because it goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Can you describe for our listeners and our viewers the impact immediately that can occur once the curriculum begins? Is it difficult for them to grasp it? What happens within that classroom atmosphere?
Well, I think it's interesting because we're all the same as human beings, regardless of age or any other perceived difference. We're all the same in the want and need to love and be loved. So I'll tell you a little story. I went into a middle school in Connecticut, actually, and they were one of our first schools that had launched. This was 3 years ago. And they knew they were going to teach the program, but they were doing a lot of evaluation work first. And so I came in about 2 weeks after school opened, and I launched the program, and that's when all the educators were downloading it. But that day, I was walking with the principal and one of the educators, and they were saying, "Oh my gosh, you know, we've already seen such an incredible change in our kids and in our staff. People are reporting they're happier, and it's just amazing." And I said, "Well, I love that, but you haven't even downloaded the curriculum yet." It was the fact that everybody had really set the intention to do the Choose Love movement. It was the big paper mache heart, 6 foot tall paper mache heart with the formula on it that the art teacher had put right in front of the doors that everybody literally had to walk around when they came in. It was the plastering of Choose Love and the formula for choosing love all over the school. It was the fact that the kids came in and they had to write about how they chose love over the summer. It was just everybody setting this intention in their heart to make that choice, and it had already changed. So it's a vernacular that kids can share regardless of how old they are, because it is scaffolded all the way up from pre-K through 12th grade. So there's similar languaging, and so there's sort of a sense of community, and you really see that on the playground. I've heard that grade levels go out, and instead of pairing off or going out in 3s and 4s, they actually all play together. So it really is bringing kids together and
Creating community.
Yeah, it's creating community and a bond. It's helping with relationships. I think it's also very important to say that it is a essential part of school safety, and this is very interesting. It really takes social and emotional learning from kind of what it has been thought of as it's a great thing, but if we have time and we don't really have time, something that is nice to essential, as it cultivates safety from the inside out of every child. And you know, we always think of safety as external safety measures, active shooter protocol, arming, not arming school resource officers, single point entries, things like that. And those are all very important, but they don't address the cause of why a child would want to harm themselves or someone else. The only thing really that does that is social emotional learning that cultivates safety from the inside out of every child by teaching them how to have healthy relationships, how to manage their emotions, how to be resilient to the issues that they face in life. And kids that have those skills and tools won't want to harm each other or someone else. It makes common sense, but there's also research behind that.
And in the state of New Hampshire, they're embracing this as part of the safety education, school safety education.
Statewide
correct?
school safety initiative, absolutely, yes.
And that is, are we the only state that is literally embracing it through that perspective of the safety initiative?
Governor Sununu was the first governor to release his statewide school safety initiative. All the other governors are working on this, and he was a leader in focusing on social and emotional learning. Really, really amazing. 6 months later, the federal government followed with their final report of the Federal Safe School Commission, and that report also had their first chapter as character education. They've got social emotional learning in chapter 1, and they're talking about that being the most important thing. Think about it. We want to reduce and prevent violence rather than react to it.
Exactly. And so they're taking the curriculum that you've established and using that within their first parts of the entry into the curriculum into the schools from a governmental point of view?
They have a social emotional learning coordinator.
Okay.
So it's not mandatory. They don't have to use Choose Love. Choose Love is a no-cost resource that's available. We're the only program that really has and offers lifespan programming, but there are other programs that have, you know, different grade subsets, and the schools can use whatever program they want, but it's really important that they embrace this and incorporate this along with academics.
And in the point of view from embracing it, from your perspective as the leader within the school system, do you anticipate a great welcoming of the curriculum or any challenges along the way?
I anticipate a great welcoming. The 40 teachers that are there are very excited and enthusiastic, and
They came forth?
Yes, and they volunteered, and we have an administrator coordinating it. Shannon has done some, the program coordinator, professional development once in June. She's coming back in August, and I just think the things, as you know, the opioid epidemic and so many things in our city. I was fortunate when I was a young person to have a stable family and all these skills, but I didn't learn all these skills when I was young. I learned them as I grew. The things that young people deal with under the age of 10 nowadays is just completely unbelievable. And if we can give them the tools, the skills, the strategies, and the support, I think anything is possible. So for me, I think it's a great first step, and I can't wait to see what the year is going to bring.
That's fantastic.
I think Garth makes a really good point. I did not have these skills and tools either when I learned about social emotional learning, or a lot of them. And you can't give your kids what you don't have.
Exactly.
That's why it's important. Yes, these skills and tools are taught at home when that's available, and they have to be taught in school as well. There needs to be a consistent message. These skills and tools are so important, and there's research behind social emotional learning that shows that when kids are taught these skills and tools, they get better grades and test scores, higher attendance, higher graduation rates. They have less stress and anxiety, less mental health issues, less behavioral issues. It's a statistically effective way to reduce and prevent bullying. And then later in life, there's less substance abuse, less incarceration, less violence and anger, even less divorce rates. All of the research, 100% of the research behind social emotional learning is positive, and it keeps coming out positively. So you can see why I'm so excited about it.
Absolutely. It's very meaningful.
It addresses the cause of so much suffering, so many issues that we're seeing in schools that then translates out into society. So many of these issues can be reduced and prevented by teaching these skills and tools.
Mm-hmm. The connection between what's happening in the classroom, the families, and the community. Will there be opportunities where they'll all connect about this, or does it just happen in the schools? How do you bring everybody together?
So the schools are hosting some parent nights to share the home curriculum. One of our after-school partners, 21st Century, is looking to implement it in all their sites, so that's 7 of the 12 schools. And I'd love to get to a point where we're like a city partner, where the whole city is a part of this, from the mayor's office all the way to the post office.
That would be a wonderful lead in the state of New
Yes.
Hampshire, to do it that way, that you are the role model that literally brings the entire community together to move forward in this. Because when you think about it, our society, the world today, is quite different than it was years ago. And I think whatever we can do to bring people back to that understanding that everybody wants to be loved, respected, cared for, cherished for who they are. And this whole movement about love, knowing that it's all about relationships and being able to integrate it into the curriculum so that it can have this profound impact, I think is wonderful. Because if we don't address it, it's not going to resolve some of the issues that we're all having.
What I've heard from teachers is that
Yes.
the curriculum was written by teachers for teachers, and they're able to give one lesson and then incorporate that theme over the course of the week. And by doing that, it's something that is not an add-on or an addition to the classroom. It really is the foundation for everything that happens in the classroom.
That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
they're not feeling overwhelmed before they begin, like,
No.
oh, there's another part and it's added to my schedule or whatever else. It just becomes part of it. So if we were to summarize the most important information that you would want people to know, what would you want to say? Why don't you start from the system's point of view?
Choose Love is about raising young people. It's about feeding their hearts and their minds and being resilient young people so they can be successful and later in life. And that's critical to our role in education. So I'm proud that we're doing this. Thank you.
And from your perspective?
From my perspective, I think that maybe there's a feeling of anxiety that people have out there, not just for safety, but for things that are going on in the world. And the opposite of anxiety is action. I think everybody wants to be a part of the solution. They just don't know what to do. And Choose Love is a place where everyone can come together. It's not political. It's not about guns. It's about love for our children and ourselves. So it's a way for everyone to come together to be a part of the solution.
Thank you very much for all that you're doing. We're looking forward to seeing this integrate not only within the school system in Nashua, New Hampshire, throughout the state and other parts of the country and the world. Thank you. Until next time.
Love those moves. Awesome, Jess. It is August 24th, 2012. And Jess has brand new soccer shoes.
So prior to 12/14/2012, I was a single mom with 2 boys. It was kind of an unremarkable life. It was such a great life. You know, I just wanted to be a mom, and I just wanted to be with my kids.
Run the ball up to me.
One day, you're a mom with 2 boys, one boy riding in a car seat in the back seat. So one morning I'm holding hands with my 6-year-old in his car seat, and the next thing that I know,
Cut!
there is no 6-year-old. He's been murdered. So I had come home for the first time, and I was getting Jesse's clothes for the funeral, and I walked through the kitchen on my way out, and I noticed these 3 words that Jesse had written on the kitchen chalkboard shortly before he died. He wrote, "Nurturing, healing, love." These words were a message of comfort for his family and friends, and inspiration for the world. It's where we needed to turn, and I knew I'd be spending the rest of my life spreading this message. I didn't have to create a solution. There was one available, and it's called social emotional learning. And social emotional learning proactively prevents violence. I believe that Jesse is a part of this organization. I actually believe that he's leading it. And all I have to do is just be present. I live with a tremendous dichotomy in my life every single day. It's never out of my mind why I am leading a worldwide movement to choose love. It's because my 6-year-old son was shot in his 1st grade classroom alongside 19 of his classmates in one of the worst mass murders in U.S. history. I feel like I meet Jesse a lot in schools. I'll look into a child's eyes and I'll see Jesse looking back at me. And how blessed am I? And how grateful I am that my purpose is spreading a message of choosing love, and given to me by my 6-year-old son.